Craig Austria was from Stamford, I think.
Oh yeah,
Remember him? He played at UConn. There's a couple guys from, and then of course Chris Murphy's from Bridgeport.
Yeah,
he was all time leading scorer at UConn. Chris Murphy.
Serious?
Yeah, he came in. He was like Calhoun's first recruit that he kept in.
Wow, all-time leading scorer.
All-time leading, still to this day, and it'll never get broken because if you're that good, you're gonna go pro after the second year, right? You're not gonna do 4 years.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, no, I mean, I think it's awesome to have you.
No, it's great to be here.
Yeah, it's a nice little studio.
I love this studio.
Yeah. So we started the show about a year ago, and as the last guy said, well, I don't even know who David Noble is. He's like, it's like you got a whole operation. Nobody's ever heard of you, and I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's how it works. So I started teaching entrepreneurship at UConn 2012.
Oh wow, it's not that long ago.
No, I've been in higher ed since 2005.
Jeez.
So I'm finishing up my 20th year. I'm moving out. I'm doing different media, different production, different athletics stuff, private equity, all kinds of different things. And so we started the show about a year ago, and we've been talking to people, entrepreneurs, and in media and in movies and TV. We talked to you folks because you guys are entrepreneurs. Did you know you were an entrepreneur?
In what way? How would you define that? As actors?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure.
I guess I could see that.
You got to create something.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you're like almost out of nothing sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to figure out a way to get people to pay you.
And the way it is now, honestly, in terms of creating, you have to create your own stuff. I mean, that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. I mean, seriously,
right?
That's true. I didn't think. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So that's the overlap. That's why we so I'm Kelly Aucoin, who was on the show Billions. He was one of my first TV actors, significant TV actor guests. And I said, I'm here to educate you all that you are entrepreneurs and you got to tackle this shit because there's a whole business to it. It's not just the art.
Yeah. And that, you know what? That's one thing I got to lean into as well. Because the thing is like, I just feel like, if I do my work and, that'll get me forward. But honestly, especially in today's world, things have changed so much. You have to go beyond that. And then on top of that, what a lot of people are doing, which is very smart, is using whatever platform they have to expand.
Yes.
In things outside of just this one lane.
I call it creatorship.
Yeah, and it is. It is.
You create.
Yeah. You
got to make money for creating.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah.
You're creating value.
Yeah.
Whether it's a painting, a movie, a TV show, a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And we just, I'm working with some students on a coffee brand called Human Intelligence.
Okay. I like that.
I do too. They came up with it. I put it out there. I'm like, look, we can do 70 products off coffee. We can do coffee cups. We can do apparel. We can do all these things. And they came back with Human Intelligence. I was like, HI, not AI. There's our coffee cup.
Oh, I like that.
Right? We can start to build the brand off it. It's about a week old. And it's that creatorship. It's that there was nothing there, start creating it, and then try to figure out how to make money. And artists are the original entrepreneurs.
Oh, that's a good point. I like that.
And so that's how this whole thing started.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No. And so first off, NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
Remember when Andy Sipowicz had his butt out?
Ain't nobody wanted to see that.
But man, that was like the biggest news ever.
Yeah.
When it came out.
It was. Yeah. I mean, they would give the finger on TV. They would, say DICK. All that kind of stuff. They were.
You can swear here. It's okay. Even though it's a university property, you can say, the kids, they know those words. But no, I mean, that was a show.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
What was it like being involved with that as so young and
man,
did you think the whole world was in front?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I knew that it was a prestigious show, and I knew it was edgy. It was different for its time in terms of being creative. A lot of people weren't doing that stuff on TV,
Right.
And in some cases, I think they were banned
Yes.
in some markets across the country because they were just a little too much.
Yeah.
And I love being a part of that.
Meanwhile, I was over at the offices yesterday for the guys that make Game of Thrones, right? Like, and it's like,
wow.
now that's edgy. That's like,
Ooh,
and that
wow.
in NYPD Blue was being banned, right?
Yeah. And now it's like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was great, man. The one thing I remember the most, I guess, about it, when people say NYPD Blue, to me, it's synonymous with Stephen Bochco, God rest his soul, but also David Milch.
Yeah.
You ever hear about David Milch? You know anything?
Yeah, I've seen he impacted a number of shows.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to go through my entire mindset of what was it about David that you took all the way forward now, geez, like 25, 30 years.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. Here's the thing. David, and I don't use this term loosely. I honestly, when I say genius, I think of people like, Jimi Hendrix, in terms of musician, Prince. David Milch was a genius.
Really?
He's a genius. Man, this guy, in every sense of the word. I mean, and his faults and his everything, he would just create these scenes. There was at least 2 scenes in each episode where it would just break your heart.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. This didn't break your heart, but he wrote a scene where, how it is. A guy comes in. In this particular case, he had killed his wife. And we're in there interrogating him, like, what happened, blah, 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 whatever, right? And the scene just wasn't clicking. And David goes to the guy, he goes, okay, the scene's not working. He goes to the guy who we're interrogating, the murderer.
Yeah.
He goes, just out of the blue, he goes, I want you to look over in the corner. Put a seat over there. In that seat, there's a black devil. And I want you don't look at these 2 guys talking to you, these 2 cops. I want you to look in the corner, and there's a black devil that's watching your every move, because that black devil told you to kill your wife. So when we resume the scene, the guy's sitting there, instead of being like, yeah, no, he's like this. He's terrified, and and we're like, what the hell is going on? But it's never mentioned. It's never mentioned in the show that, he's looking at a black. It's never mentioned. It's just things like that, the underlying things.
So Eminem is like that with rap.
Yeah.
M can walk in the studio and be like, change this, this, and this. The guy's been working on it for 30 hours straight, and now he's just like,
really,
this is what you got to do. You just like, that level of genius where you can come in and see what's going on in your craft and just put a finger on it and be like, okay, and then boom.
Yeah. And not only just change it for the sake of changing it, but bringing it from here to here.
Yeah.
I mean, that is crazy. I didn't know he could do that. I didn't know Eminem was able to do that.
Yeah, Eminem's is like a savant level.
Wow.
Like, he deals with all of his own demons, if you will.
Yeah.
But he's like, when he hears it, he sees it, he can do it. I mean, it's like it's an insane level type thing. So you've had this career, man. And this is what my show's really about, is like giving kids that are, whether they're 15 or 35, and they're looking at their career and going, well, I'm this. No. You're whatever you want it to be, right? Like, you come out of Stamford, Connecticut, you're born in Stamford, Connecticut. And how do you get on all these TV shows and these movies, and you build this career? How does a guy even do that?
Yeah, first I'm going to tell you by the grace of God, I'm going to tell you that. I graduated with a degree in accounting. And I'll be honest with you, I think it was my junior year. I was like,
I was like, I teach in the business school. I tell them all, like, you're accountant? What the fuck you doing?
I couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. But the thing is, I went to school on a scholarship. My parents were like, look, I have a twin sister. They paid for her. And they're like, you're good at, basketball in high school. So you get a scholarship because otherwise, my dad told me, he was like, if you don't get a scholarship, you got to start thinking about going into the armed forces.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I was out practicing every day. So anyway, I couldn't change my major because I just didn't have the money to continue school. But so I was like, okay, I'll do this. I'll graduate degree in accounting. At least it'll give me something to. But when I was in, I don't know, for whatever reason, my basketball coach, Art Liptowski, he goes, you should take an acting class, just out of the freaking blue. You should take an acting class.
Is it because you were good looking, or was it because?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
That's all you fucking actors. You're Kevin Kane, another one. Like, you're all good looking.
No,
and like,
man,
and it's easy. It's easy, right? Like, you just get really good looking, and then you go and they give you money and fame and all. Nah, you took that acting class.
Yeah, I did. I took the class, and it just opened up a world for me. And I knew, oh man, I want to try that. But my people are from the South, and it's like, you kind of lock in on something. You don't do crazy stuff like that. But so I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I was in their financial management training program when I got out.
Yeah,
it was in Stamford, and on my breaks for lunch, I would take the Metro North into Manhattan and audition. Just go on these random auditions that that were open calls, and then come back and put on my suit and everything. I was gone for like freaking 2.5 hours. And that's how inconsequential. Nobody knew. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? But I hit a job. I got a job, this movie Above the Rim with Tupac Shakur and
I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's small time.
When you see the kids wearing the Tupac shirts today,
they don't know.
And you're like, can you name one song?
Yeah.
Just give me one. Give me one.
Yeah.
And we'll call it cool.
And you have the right to wear that shirt. Yeah. No, they don't know, man. They don't know,
Same thing with Biggie. Biggie played at UConn?
Oh, really?
Ray Allen. So I've got a picture. The same guy I was visiting yesterday has got a picture of the back of his head and the back of Ray Allen's head from spring party at UConn watching Biggie.
Oh, my gosh.
93, 94, something like that.
Really?
95, something.
Really?
Yeah.
How the heck did UConn get him?
Dude, there's all.
Wow. That's amazing.
Ray Allen was there. Yeah, we're talking about Hall of Famer Ray Allen, right?
Yeah, Ray Allen. Oh, my gosh, man.
He's from the South, too.
Is he?
Yeah, South Carolina. He was born in England, actually, because his dad was in the Air Force, but yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
For some reason, I thought he was born up north somewhere.
No. Born in South Carolina. Him and Kevin were best friends growing up.
Oh, wow. Yeah. He's one of the greatest players ever, I think, man. In terms of before Steph Curry.
That was it.
He was
that picture. There's like a 30-foot picture in his dining room of the Miami the shot.
Yeah,
and you see the ball. It's right here off of his fingers, and LeBron's got his arms.
Oh,
up,
really?
Celebrating. He
Are
knew
you
it was
serious?
going down. Yeah, I'll show it to you later. And like, that piece, like. You're like, you watch someone do something like that, and then you meet him, and he's just a guy like you, like me.
He's very, let me tell you something. That was one of the things that kind of helped me in my career. You talk about, talking to these kids like, or anybody just saying, hey, you got to go for it. Because you know what? These people ain't no different than you. I remember my first year at NYPD Blue, we were nominated for a SAG award. And that was my first time being like, oh my, I mean, everywhere I looked, there was like Tom Cruise, there was Russell Crowe. It was like, oh my gosh, all these people. And man, you look at them and you're like, I'm not taking nothing away from their talent, but you're like, yeah, you're just a guy. You know what I mean? You're just a human being. You're not some remarkable dude with a crown and a robe walking in. You're just a guy like me. You know, that's the thing that shocked me the most.
I guarantee that mindset is why you can succeed in a business, especially in a business where it's like, well, your nose is too big, your nose is too small, your eyes are too dark, your skin's too light, your skin's too dark, you're too tall, you're too short.
Yeah, it's always something.
You got to know that if they ain't judging you, you ain't getting in.
Right. And the thing is, like you said about in terms of entrepreneurship, it's like with creativity, you also have to know that you have something to offer. You have value.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I would tell people to instill in themselves. Don't place your value in somebody else's hands. Don't have somebody tell you you can't create something or you can't do this because it hasn't been done. It hasn't been done in your family or it hasn't been done, period. Don't let anybody tell you that crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know that this is what you were meant to do, then you do it. And don't rely on other people. That's why when I started, I didn't tell anyone. My best friend didn't know. Only people I told was my mom and my sisters. They knew that I was going out and acting because I didn't want to hear like, oh, what? You're crazy. You know, I didn't want to hear that crap, you know?
Right. Can't make a living doing that. Were you going to starve?
Oh, yeah. And even when I left the Fortune 500 company, I was leaving the program, everything. There were people, like my managers were like, well, what are you doing? You know, I didn't tell them what I was doing, but they were like, you got a opportunity here. I was making good money for a kid coming just out of school, just coming out of school. And they were like, you know, you got a future here. It's safe, you know, basically.
Let me ask you a question about that exact component, because I do a ton of work with women and Black entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. You got fewer degrees of freedom to fail.
Yeah, true. That is true.
How do you leave that program and go believe in yourself to go do that? Because I think that's the piece. I was really uncomfortable telling young Black women and Black men are two. First off, you got people think the world, especially people that look like me, think the world is like Black is one thing. Well, this is like heterogeneous, right? Like, I don't have to convince a Jamaican to get involved in entrepreneurship.
Okay.
They're all in, right? But and then you got Africans that are different. But like I was trying to help kids from East Hartford, from New Haven, from Bridgeport, from Stamford, Waterbury. Kids like, hey man, this is how you create wealth. And then it like clicked on me. I can't ask them to not get a job after college.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Right?
Yeah.
And all right, how do we create the structures and the systems that allow them to take chances while they're here in college so that 2, 3, 4 years later they can take that chance when the opportunity presents itself. So like stepping out as a young Black man in a great job and going to try to be an actor. You can't fail. You can't come home.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the mindset is, I can't live the way I was, you know, playing it safe. You know what I mean? I can't do that the rest of my life. I gotta at least try.
Did you feel that was average? Playing safe.
What's that?
Playing safe. The thing is that was it. You wanted to be exceptional, or was it? You just wanted to be part of an actor. You just wanted to be that.
It was something in me that said that this was like this is what I'm supposed to do. For me, to me, it is divine. It's God telling me this is what you are supposed to do. And I do believe that everyone has that, because if you find yourself in a position like, you know, I talk to my daughters now. I said, do what you have to now so you can do what you want to later. And I said, you want to have a job that you go to every day, that you like, you're excited, you can create and grow. You don't want to do something where you're just punching a clock and the only thing you're looking forward to is the weekend or a check. To me, that's not living. Now, granted, like some people have to do
2 weeks of vacation a year. Yeah. No, I mean, people do have to. You don't have the freedom to take that step. You have kids at 17.
Yeah. You have to do
it. A lot of things you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do.
But when you get a chance.
I will tell you this. It's not like if a lot of people I remember when there were actors were like, well, if I don't make it by this age, or if I don't make it in these many months or these many years, then I'm not. And I knew right then and there, you're not going to.
You're not going to make it. Yeah.
You ain't gonna make it, because the thing is, I knew going in I was going to struggle in the beginning. I expected it. I knew it was going to happen, and that's what the kind of thing you have to have your mindset as. You have to have your mindset not pessimistic, but just like, okay, I'm going to struggle, but in the midst of the struggle, I'm learning. And that's what I want to do. I want to learn. I want to prepare myself so when that real opportunity comes, I'm ready for it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And it's tough. It's tough. But, you know, look, my first year when I moved to New York, I was sleeping on friends' couches. I didn't have anywhere to go. I remember in 1 week I'd be on someone's couch, then I'd be sleeping on the floor. Then for a summer I was sleeping in the attic of a theater. It was like, you know, my first 2 years were not ideal. You know, I had a suitcase.
People never understand the sacrifice to live a dream.
Yeah, and
they never want to. People. I hear people all the time. They say, "I want to write a book."
Yeah.
No. You want to stand there with the book,
right? Yeah.
Sign an autograph, give a speech, this, that. You don't want to sit down and write a book.
Yeah.
That's thousands of hours.
Yeah.
You don't want to make a movie. You don't want to make a movie, because if you wanted to make a movie, you go make the movie.
Go make a movie.
My guy Alex Molina, he played at UConn, played football. Alex wanted to make a movie, so he took his van during the pandemic, drove to LA, put a bed in the back of his van, lived in his friend's driveway.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't what you know. That ain't living.
That ain't living.
But he made his movie.
Yeah.
They sold their movie.
Yeah, and then you move into an apartment.
Maybe
do the thing again or whatever.
Whatever.
Maybe. You're right. You're right.
He was laughing because he was saying, "Well, we sold the movie. We figure, the second one will be so easy."
Yeah.
No. It's every bit.
No.
But yeah, no. I think you're right. You got to take that 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. You're signing up for a sacrifice to achieve something, right? And I think people forget the sacrifice because all they see is the success.
I got to tell you this. When I was leaving that Fortune 500 company, I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, right? And this old man came up to me, and I think I maybe said hi to him. I was in this Fortune 500 company for like a year. This old man came up to me. I maybe said hi to him a couple of times. You know, he was always in his cubicle or whatever. He didn't talk much, you know. And I remember just one day I was really distraught because there was stuff going on at home, and you know, I was like leaving. I was leaving like in 2 days. I was leaving the company, and I was like going to go out, and it was unknown. I had nothing. I had no promises of jobs. I didn't have an agent, nothing, right? And this old man comes up to me. He goes, "Henry." And I was like, "Oh." He was like, hey. And he was, gosh, he had to have been in his late 70s, you know, and back then.
Yeah.
You know, in the 90s. So, you know, he was gray and he was getting ready to retire. And he comes up to me, he goes, "I hear you're leaving." And right away I was like, "Oh, geez, I don't want to hear another speech like, oh, stay, you know." But I didn't say anything to him out of respect. But he goes, "I hear you're leaving." He goes, you don't have to tell me what you're doing. I know you don't have to tell me what you're doing. But he goes, "Whatever you do, I'm telling you, whatever you're going to do, don't half-ass it." He goes, because, and it was almost like he was talking to himself. He goes, "I'm telling my son now." He goes, "My son's in this business." He goes, you know, he's comfortable with getting that nice check every week, but I see it's not fulfilling to him. And I keep telling him, take the chances now before you're married, before you have a mortgage, all this stuff, right? He goes, because before you know it, you're going to be, and he was talking about himself, really. He was like, you're going to be retired, and you're going to be like, "I wish I would have." He goes, "Don't do that." He goes, "Whatever you do, don't keep 1 foot here and 1 foot there." He goes, "Don't half-ass it." He goes, "Go all the way." Man, that was all I needed. That was all I needed.
Wow. And so you've been working ever since.
Yeah, I mean, look, there are times where, even now, I mean, there are times where there's droughts, you know, where you're not working for whatever reason. It just, you know, things don't happen. I mean, it's not like, oh, you just keep going. It's not like that. It's peaks and valleys. And that's the thing that, you have to have a mindset for as well. Who's he's one of my favorite actors, and I forget his name, Breaking Bad.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. He says something once, and people ask me this, about, going into acting. And the first thing I ask him, this is what Bryan Cranston said. He goes, are you interested or are you committed? Because if you're just interested, don't bother. But if you're committed, by all means, go ahead and do it, because you got to be committed. You can't be in it for like you say, holding the book or being on the red carpet, all that kind of stuff. That's meaningless. You got to be committed to what you're doing. You got to be committed in terms of writing a book. It's not finishing the book that is, the great part. It's the actual sitting down every day, going into a world or whatever and writing this book. That's the part.
Yeah.
That should be fun,
Yeah, if you don't find the time for it, you don't.
Yeah. You don't want to do it. If you don't find the time for it, you don't want to do it. You shouldn't.
And that's one of the pieces. And kids don't get that. And I think that we've been trying. So we built the Worth Institute at UConn, really to get. UConn's an interesting place, right? It's still a place for social mobility. It's still a school where you come in at one socioeconomic level and you come out on the other, very clearly. And so, we built this entrepreneurship institute not to get them to start companies, but to take ownership of their own education and own lives. And like now you start to don't half-ass it. Number one, first day of class every year, every semester, you're here. You signed up.
Yeah.
You have to be here. You got to get a grade at the end.
Yeah.
I'll give you an A right now. Just do it. Put everything you have into the next 15 weeks because you got to be here anyway.
You got to be there. Yeah.
And like, if you're not willing to do that, why do you think you're suddenly going to graduate one day and you can go to work and now you're going to, all of a sudden, then you're going to be excellent? No. It's a lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's interesting to see professional actors because they always say that I'm not an entrepreneur. And well, maybe I do have that in common. Maybe I do have. You're an artist, right?
Yeah.
How do you live your life and do your art? How is it like? I didn't ask that question quite the right way. It's like you have this art, you have a thing, you're committed to it, you're giving to it. It takes and gives to you, but then you have to go and be a friend, a son, a father, a husband, and that's real life.
Yeah.
What's it like to turn that on and off, or how do they interact with each other? Because people talk about work-life balance, and I'm like, yeah, that's not a thing.
It's man, that's a good question. The thing is when I'm husband or father to my daughters, I'm all in. It's not like I'm thinking about, at least I try not to think about it. It's all about them, and vice versa. When I'm working, I'm all in. But the thing, like what you said, and there's a wonderful teacher that I've been working with, Diana Castle. She requires you to spend an hour a day to do something creative, work on creative stuff. And I think that's the thing, because you can get consumed with either one.
Correct.
But being a dad and being a husband, I have to be disciplined enough to take the time to, even if I don't have a job, that I'm, going to every day, to work on being creative. Just like I remember for a while there, I was learning guitar, and this guy was telling me, you got to practice every day. You got to practice every day. You got to build up the calluses on your fingers and stuff. And the thing is you just got to set time aside to do it. And I will tell you this, playing basketball helped me with all that because it taught me. Here's the crazy thing. In college, during the season, you would think my grades would drop. My grades they were better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
My best student last year was Donovan Klingon.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Donovan's in class 30 minutes early.
Wow.
Working on his autographs.
Really?
Yeah. I said to his father, I said, I got to tell you this. You probably haven't heard this very often. He's one of my best students.
Yeah.
He says, you're not talking about my son, right? But no, I mean, it's like, no, that discipline, I think you hit it. And I don't think we've ever really talked about it on the show 40, 50 episodes in, is like, that is a key element, whether you want to be in art, sports, business, family. Discipline is there's sacrifice, but then there's discipline.
Yeah.
And discipline means, hey, when I'm here, I'm present.
But discipline also means, because the thing is like I tell my kids, I say, look, this next hour, don't come in the room, don't be knocking on the door, don't tell me I got to call, whatever. This next hour is for this right here. Right. I have to do this for me, for my art.
A lot of people don't get that door has to be shut.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, so for me, it takes me 40 minutes to start.
Okay, yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
I'm sipping on coffee, I'm reading the news, I'm thinking about, and then it comes.
Yeah.
And then I have, like, when it starts, if you interrupt me, it might take me 2 days to get back to that point.
Yeah.
And that's the part, it's hard to explain that to someone else.
But what do you do? Like how much time you set aside for yourself, knowing that it might take 40 minutes? You take like 2 hours?
Yeah, no. So when I'm my best, so David, the creator, is different than David, the executive.
Yeah.
And I've been spending too much time as an executive the last couple of years. Okay. And as an executive, you're going from meeting and this and problem and that and this and this, and it's all nonstop. Mm-hmm. David, the creator, there's a morning routine. Mm. There's, I'm going to walk. I'm going to do push-ups. I'm going to eat my breakfast. I'm going to drink 1 cup of coffee. Yeah. Like that level, when I get to that level of discipline, then when it's time to go, it's really easy.
Okay.
And I've never, ever thought about it that way with that term discipline in there. Mm-hmm. But because I always think about it as habit. Like I'm a habitual person. I will eat the same thing. I will do the same thing.
Discipline is habit.
Right. Yeah. It's the formation of positive habits. Right? Like that allow you to execute on the things you need to execute on to be successful in the thing you want to do. Because once you can pay for your house and your food, like now you can start to do some of those things. And I think, I would say for me, getting that free time in is really the key. And then I start to create. But not only that, I think with a different level of clarity, I see with a different level of clarity, and I hear and listen differently.
Do you work better? Does your creativity come better in the early morning or at night? Or in the middle of the day?
I mean, I think it's in the morning to me. I've been tracking. So since January 1, I've been tracking everything. Mm-hmm. Journaling. That's great. Notes. I have an accountability. I have a business partner that we're like, all right, how do we get better? Mm-hmm. So we can make more money. We can do better things. We can change. And so I have noticed if I go for a walk first thing in the morning, mm-hmm. I'm in a better place.
Oh, good.
Right? If I give myself 10 minutes to throw on a meditation app or do something and just get there, I'm in a better place. The whole day, everything, no matter what I do, if it's creative or executive, doesn't matter. It's better.
Yeah.
I feel like I own my time. I feel like I'm in control of my life a little bit in a different way, even though I know the phone rings and
you don't feel like you're trying to catch up. Yeah, that's the key. Go ahead.
That's it. And so and when I lose that, because I a 7 a.m. call in another time zone in Europe, or, you know, now I feel like I've lost control. And now people that are calling me, I tend to answer the phone. Like, that's the other, like, there has to be, I think, a level of excluding, like you were talking about with your daughters, this hour, this is my thing. When you get that discipline to exclude other things from your purview because you're doing this right now, that's when it sort of changes for me. And I've only recently seen that, I'm going to say in the last month or two.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, and I've said this, all right, I have to build my life differently. Because
I like that.
Because it's like I've started to see where I'm thriving and where and I'm seeing the negative effects of that emotion when I don't feel good about the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, everybody can get to me. People can make me feel bad because this, and this. And, you know, it's just like, no, I don't give a shit about you like, you're calling me because you need something, not because it's necessary to what's happening and what we're working on. It's not a priority.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know? And so,
dropping knowledge. Really?
I am a professor.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
But no, I mean, I think I've been really working on that a lot, and I hadn't thought about how it would interact with what you do for a living, and which is create television shows, media, movies.
And I like what you said. You have to build your life, but someone hearing that, it's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. But really, it's just, if you really break it down, it's building your day. Yeah. Building each.
That's always the way, right? Like you've actually said it in this conversation. Is like, you can only do the little, you know, you got to break in the pieces. Yeah. And I think I'm leaving today and going back and saying, all right, well, I need to build a start of my day. Because just hearing myself talk back through my head, it's like, well, when I start the day right, the day is positive. Yeah. So if I can just start it, then we'll get there. And then the other piece, I think, with everything else is I've started to be like, all right, this is what I need to do, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I don't want to do. Yeah. Recently, last year, I spent a lot of time thinking through who adds value to my life. Who do I like to work with? Who do I like to be around? I created 7 categories of people, and 2 categories are gone. Nice. It's not working. Yeah. Not you. It's not me. It's just there's no reason. These people over on the left-hand side in the first 2 categories, I want to spend as much time with them as possible. I have a friend, Kalena Green. She was in the WNBA, WNBA champion, 2-time NCAA champion. She was on the show. She's awesome. And I was like, I need more of her in my life. She's doing stuff. I feel good when I'm around her.
Yeah. You feel like, and that's what I need too. Is like people where you feel like you're growing. Yeah. They make you grow.
You could talk to her about anything, right? She does telecom. She builds cell phone towers, tears them down, puts in wiring at stadiums now. It paid better than the WNBA back. Oh gosh. Man, she was making, you know. So horrible. She was like, one contract paid me more than the whole year. She said that was it. She rage quit WNBA. But to me, I'm like, she's always thinking about something, always doing something. Like, that's the people I need in my life. Yeah. And it's never like, oh, I can't do this. Right. I'm not able to do that. Yeah.
And it's also, because I find that people get bogged down, and me at times too, get bogged down with have to do's. Yeah. You know, oh gosh, I have to do this. I have to do that. And you can, you know what? You can go through a week, a month, a year just doing, oh, I have to do it, instead of setting the time aside to what I need to do. Not like need to do from, I need to do it for that, but for me. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, like things, prioritization.
Yeah, prioritization.
I need to do this. Yeah. Because you can throw a bunch of have to do's. And that's where I used to have an assistant, and I'm ADHD like to the fifth. like man, it can happen, it can go, like there's nothing. But like I would have an assistant, and that was how I started to get better at life. Like I had an assistant that organized, I had an assistant, and then I realized, but my calendar, it's full. Because the assistant job was to fill up the calendar. Oh, you want to talk to David? Here's your slot.
Yeah.
Not, do you need to talk to David?
Oh, wow.
Not, do you need David in that meeting?
Yeah.
Right? It was like, and so I had a great assistant. She just moved on to Chanel, got a great job, did all that stuff, and she was great. But when that happened, I was like, oh, this is the chance. I'm stealing my calendar back.
Yeah.
Now nobody can get on my calendar. They're all like, I can't. I'm like, if you know how to, if you're important enough, you get on my calendar.
You get on my calendar, right. Yeah.
You can't get on my calendar because you're not important enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not like from a, ego thing. It's like,
no, it's just not in my day.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just the way it is.
You can text me 700 times, you need a meeting today?
Yeah.
If you don't really need it, I'm producing a documentary this weekend. Remember Khaled El Amin?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the Faithful with Khaled El Amin this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm going up to Minneapolis. We're going to shoot. He's coaching community college basketball right now. We're going to shoot at the game. It's the last game of the season. We're going to do a little interview there. We're going to talk to his brother, the imam. We're going to get to his parents' fish restaurant in Minneapolis, and then do a long form interview with Khaled. And I mean, Khaled was the point guard of point guards, right? Like 1999 NCAA champion. So I'm starting to shoot that. And one of the producers keeps saying, like, oh, I want to talk to the camera person. I want to online. He wants to have a meeting with me 3 days now. He's probably texted me 37 times. He texted someone else, called everyone. Like, you don't need it. It's all scheduled.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you want it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you think you need it. But, like, it's scheduled. You'll be there.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be fine. The camera equipment will be there. The lighting package will be there.
Yeah.
Grip will be there. It'll be all great.
Yeah.
I've already taken care of it. I know it is.
That's good.
Right? So
good.
You're not getting a meeting today when I have 4 interviews, one with you. Like, we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's not where I'm at today.
Good for you, man.
Right? And like just starting to capture that.
Yeah.
And then you start to see the productivity improvements and you start to put people around your life that understand that. Now you can grow. Now you can go fast. And so, but Khaled.
Jeez.
National champion.
He's amazing. I remember him very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got arrested 4 days after.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. So he won the national championship on Monday. Tuesday, he was on Letterman. Thursday, him and Rip Hamilton were driving to Hartford, and he went and bought pot and got arrested Thursday.
For pot?
For pot. 2000. It was 1999, 2000.
Yeah. He got Rip.
Not Rip. No, Rip wasn't involved.
Wow.
He was in the car, and they got him.
Oh,
yeah, man. Khaled had to miss the first game of the 2000 season because of that. But yeah, so like in 99, that's like a huge deal, right? Like, could have cost him his whole career, could have cost him everything.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Yeah.
No, I mean, like today,
you
go into a dispensary.
Yeah.
It's like buying Sprite.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly, yeah.
He is, I think, got one of the most infectious smiles. And so like that's a cool thing. So like you get to do those things. That's important, right? Like making Khaled feel valued. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Well,
he is valuable.
He was valuable, right?
Yeah.
But like that's 25 years ago.
Yeah. But even today though. I mean,
well, when he walks through UConn, he is. When he comes through, and we were in Phoenix last year for the Final Four, and like everybody sees him and knows him. But like you're a former star athlete
in high school. I mean, I don't even.
No, I mean like you felt it.
Yeah.
You get it from TV. Yeah. Imagine you just retired and it goes away.
Yeah, you know what? The thing for me is I don't. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't. All that stuff where I don't need that stuff, and I'm actually surprised when people are like, "Hey, I'm genuinely surprised, and I like to meet people, but I don't." I tell you what. And I think it's maybe because I conditioned my mind to not really buy into that because I always I've always been interested when I was since a kid in biographies. I just read biographies, and and you wonder, oh, where's this person now? And this person could have been at the highest of the heights, and now no one talks about him. And you realize, oh, then the person's still living their life.
It was like Brendan Fraser before The Whale.
Yes, exactly, exactly. John Travolta before Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
and but he had, he was hot as hell. What Saturday Night Fever, all that, and then boom, nobody was thinking about him. Then he did Pulp Fiction, and then
Then he came back.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's like it made me realize that stuff is so. It doesn't mean anything.
What do people know you for when they do recognize you?
Oh man,
because you've been across so many things.
Gosh, it's various things. I mean, NYPD Blue, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a big one.
Yeah, that's the one because I'm a big Marvel fan.
Are you really?
Yeah, well, I think they've gotten away from the magic recipe now, but yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I've watched that. Like that's where when they're like, oh, would you want to talk to Henry? And it's like, well, I love that show. Yeah. Show me the bio. Yeah, let's go talk to Henry. But I mean, like, that's one where I'm like, okay, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Because it was a good show too.
Yeah, I that show really it did a lot for me in terms of the writers. Jed Weed, Marissa Tancharan, Jeff Bell, Jeffrey. I'm thinking of I can't remember, but the other Jeff. What happened is they gave me the opportunity to do so many different things that I knew that I was capable of doing, but a lot of times because you're a big black guy, you're not afforded the opportunity to do it. And in that show, they let me do comedy. I was humorous, obviously action, drama, romance, everything. And then at the end, I was the leader of the whole darn thing.
Yeah.
And each season, they were like, "Oh, let's give him this. Let's give him this. Let's challenge him here." And I'm really grateful to all of them.
Was that intentional on their part, or was it just like you were earning it?
I think a little bit of both. I think they were like, "Oh, let's try this," and maybe a little bit of something here, and then it's like, "Oh, okay, he can do that," and oh, he works well with this person, and I could see.
It's cool when people figure out you can do things.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah. It's wonderful. But the thing is you talk about creativity. My father said, you got to go in there and sell yourself. I mean, he's passed away now, but when I was younger, he would say, you got to sell yourself. There is a great thing about being humble, but when you can do it, you got to go in there and sell yourself. And that's one thing I'm working on now, because like I said in the beginning, I feel like, look, my work speaks for itself. But, there was a show I did, Emperor of Ocean Park with...
Great show.
Yeah, and it didn't come back, but I sat down with the head writer, the creator, and I was like, look, if we come back, this is what I want to do. And it was more like, I want to grow in this area. These are the things that I want to do. And I had no problem saying that because I had proven myself in the first season. And I knew I did a great job with the feedback I was getting. And I was like, look, I know what I can do, and I'm going to sell myself for this, And actually, there have been instances where people have talked to me about doing a job, and I say, okay, I'm going to do this job. But what I don't want to do this job, and in the second, third episode, I'm just like a figurehead or something. Mm-hmm. And I literally told someone, I said, because I'm ready to step into this particular dynamic of my career, mm-hmm. Being a lead in every sense of the word. So if you want to hire me, this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. Now, if it doesn't line up with you, that's fine. But I don't want to be a figurehead in the background. I'm not going to do that. And it's just about. and you have to when you know what you want, when you know what you're capable of, you have to, and it's not arrogance. It's not coming from a place of arrogance. It's coming from a place of passion, of knowing I know what I have to offer. I know what my value is, and with my value, I can make your product be more valuable because I have something to bring to the table.
Yep. And you deserve something for doing that.
Yeah.
And that's called, I think, growing up at some point. Hey, Oscar, can you put the, I think it's Emily. Yeah, here we go. So we always have the students ask a question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Henry. Big fan here. I'm wondering, what was it like to work on a film with a $25,000 budget versus a film with millions of dollars in their budget?
That's a good question.
She must have done some homework.
Yeah, really?
She does homework.
That's fantastic. Now, should I look or just look at you?
No, you got cameras. It don't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got 3 cameras. If you look at the camera, it's good. It's just going to be you answering. If it's not, it might be this. If it's me yapping, it might be that one.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think she's not actually there. That's just a video.
Right. I know. The difference between working on a small budget film or project and a big budget film or project is quite honestly, for me, there is no difference in terms of the way I prepare, in terms of the passion that I have. I will say this though, you do feel a sense of urgency. You feel it's always over you in a smaller budgeted project because you don't have as many opportunities to, let's try this, let's try it. You don't have that. It's like thought out beforehand. It's like, okay, we're going to do this. If we get it here, maybe we can try here or there. But if we get it, we're moving on, So I don't look, some people may look at that as pressure. I don't.
Yep.
I don't care either way. But there is, you feel that urgency. But here's the thing. As a creative person, you may recognize the urgency, but for me, I'm just completely relaxed in whatever situation I'm in. Because if you start operating with a sense of urgency, then it's going to damage whatever's trying to come across.
I have a colleague who's fantastic. Mm-hmm. He's entertaining. He's charismatic. He's knowledgeable. He's all these things. And I'm trying to help him learn how to be on camera. Because he acts.
He acts?
He acts.
Okay.
When the camera gets turned on, he starts acting.
Like, give me an example. Like, he's not himself.
He's not himself.
Okay, I got you.
Himself is fantastic, but he's not an actor. Like, it took you a long time to learn how to act.
Yeah.
It will take him years, and if he's not committed, as you said, he's never going to get there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you could be on the camera. You don't have to act. You can just be yourself.
Yeah.
And I see people, it aligns with that when you start acting with a sense of urgency. Now you're forcing things.
You're forcing. That's a better word. Yeah.
And the camera picks up the forcing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Right?
All the time.
So like when we started the podcast, and like I don't pretend to be good. I've got like 50 people that watch me. But I mean, it's like one of the things that I knew I could start to do this is because like when I come in and sit down and start talking, sit down and start. this is David Noble in 2 hours or 10 hours or whatever. This is me.
We sat down.
Like,
honestly, I was like, we having a. You're just still talking. I didn't know.
No, because like we just do the cold open. Because like then I don't have to read and I don't have to read an opening. I don't have like if like we got our sponsor is a underwear company, Better for Balls underwear. I like saying Better for Balls.
Really?
I like that's it. It makes me laugh. Some people feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it's a girl. Sometimes it's whatever. The reality is, Better for Balls underwear is a great slogan. It's a Yukon entrepreneur. He built organic underwear to help people switch off of product that was hurting them, their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so you get a free pair there. But I mean, it's
I
like
get a free pair?
right there. That's your pair, man.
Thank
XL.
you. I've
XL.
heard of this. I'm
You're
glad.
XL.
Yeah.
Nads underwear. Can't make that
Man,
shit up.
thank you.
And so everyone that comes on the show gets a free pair. I had to chase the last guy down in the parking lot throwing underwear at him. But no, I mean, like, we don't read ads because I don't know how to read a fucking ad.
Right.
It'll sound horrible.
But
You should have better for balls underwear, right? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not. That's not me.
And
like, hey, let's make a joke about balls.
Yeah.
Like,
It's because you believe in it.
yes, because I'm wearing it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you end up with microplastic, like all the synthetic fabrics in your clothes. Your body takes that in and it absorbs it.
Yeah.
Your skin's not tin foil.
Right.
I've heard and so it's organic underwear. Like it's going to be the thing. I know it. And I was like, hey man, I like talking about your product. Like just send me 30, 40 pairs and I'll give them to people. He's like, done. Right.
Jeez.
Like, and like, cause it's easy. But like, if I had to act it, try to do a commercial.
Yeah.
I'm not an actor.
Yeah. Well, you notice that people with podcasts or, you know, even on TV, I watch ESPN and you see when they do like a little ad like that, you know, it does not, it sounds like they're getting paid to say what they're saying. It's not authentic.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I love this, you know, because they don't, you know, they don't believe in the product or whatever. They don't have a relationship to it. You know?
Yeah, because we got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
You got to pay the bill. But you get an actor.
Yeah.
That's and they want the host of the show or whatever. And it's like, look, go get an actor and make a commercial.
Yeah.
I'm like, people want me to give away a product. I'll give away a product if I use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I talk about all manner of startups from UConn that we use in the show. We always try to pump those startups because it's what this is about. I think at the end of the day is like, hey, you got to have some media. You got to tell the stories. They'll take the clip. They'll use it as a paid commercial on social media.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Fire it away. But all I want is to be able to make a joke about better for balls underwear. That's what, you know what I mean? Like, give me what I need and I'll give you what you need. The, you know, we're running out of time here, but I think you've had this career in TV and movies that most people would be like starting out. They'd be like, oh my God, how do you do it? If you had one thing to tell a kid that's looking at life and saying, I can't do that. What would you tell them from your perspective that says like, well, you can? How would you frame up that advice of you're committed? All right, you got it now. Bryan Cranston, you hit the Bryan Cranston rule.
Yeah.
Here's a piece of advice.
Yeah.
From Henry.
A piece of advice. The advice I would give someone's like, you know what? All your life, you're going to have people telling you what not to do, what you can't do. And if you start living by their rules, then you're going to have a miserable life.
You got it.
You're gonna live a life where you're going to get up every day and just do what you have to do. I'm telling you, you go out and you do what you want to do now. Forget all the can'ts. Block all that crap out. And you just go for it. If you believe in it, commit yourself and go for it. And don't expect returns to happen in the first year. You'll see small things, you know, and look for the signs. Look for the things that give you signs that you're going in the right direction. And it's never in a big job. It's always in the small things. It might be in a something that makes you feel a certain way, a way that you know where you've accomplished something, or something that you know where you have really improved the lives of people, even on a small scale. Those are signs that you're going in the right direction. And keep going, keep pushing forward. Don't listen to anybody. Don't live by anybody else's words. Don't live by anybody else's rules. Live by what you believe in. Commit to that and move forward.
So I'll leave this with you. When I built the Worth Institute, we had no idea what we were building. And they said, you got all these pieces. What is it? And I said, it's the Tesseract. And I built out like a whole thing. I said, this is the Tesseract. I built out a whole picture.
Really?
Stole it from the Shield. Because like nobody knew what it was. And I was like, nobody's going to be able to understand it. So I was watching the show at the time, and like this is about 2018.
Are you serious?
And I called the original plan the Tesseract.
Oh my!
And I'm gonna go see if I can find it, and I'll show it to you. And every piece of that Tesseract, which was purely ridiculousness, dreamt up by me, came true.
Oh my God!
And we built it piece by piece by piece. And they always told us we couldn't do it. They always told us we couldn't build an entrepreneurship program in Stores, Connecticut for students. I have over 50% women in my program. They always said, you can't do that. 23% is outstanding on the national scale. There's no one. We have double representation of Black students, and they still feel alone. But like double the population is in my programs. And it's like accessibility and transformation. That's what it all, inside the Tesseract, there are two things: accessibility and transformation.
Wow. And
like, so I'm not just joking about liking the show or just making it up. Like we actually use that, and we did it because I did it because I knew it would confuse the hell out of everybody else. So they wouldn't ask me the questions that I needed to be asked.
Yeah.
But like, who the fuck comes up with that shit on the show, man? Some of that stuff is crazy.
Man, it is.
Those writers are out there.
Oh yeah, they're wonderful though. I mean,
yeah. It's great.
Creative.
It's great.
Yeah.
That was a great written show.
Jeez. Yeah.
I that one and Jessica Jones are my two favorite Marvel ones.
Jessica Jones. Yeah. That was a good one. That was a really good one.
Kristen's, she was on Breaking Bad too.
Yeah.
She's special.
She's a good actress, man. That's right. Oh my gosh. That scene where, oh man, where he goes in and she, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
She's. Did you see Breaking Bad?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
I won't say anything in case you might want to watch it.
I've been trying to watch it for 10 years. That first season is slow, man, and I can't.
It picks up though. Wait a minute. It picks up after like how many episodes are there? 5 or 6?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, after like the 4th one,
yeah,
it starts to.
You just got to ride it.
You got to. My friend even told me that. At first, I was like, I don't want to. He goes, just get through the first 3 or 4. I'm telling you. And sure enough,
who the hell makes a show that you got to get through the first 4 episodes? That's your clincher.
But it lays the foundation. It lays the foundation.
This is my favorite show right now. You Are Bugs. 3 Body Problem.
I don't know this.
I read the books. It was on. Shouldn't it's the guys that did Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Everyone's talking about the show for a while, right?
Yeah. Well, the first season came out. It's based on this crazy physics stuff. The next season, I'm very worried. I was over in the office. I was grilling them. I'm like, come on, man. Like, we got to get character development. And I'm like, the next season is like the whole thing. And I think they're going to do 4 seasons, I think is what Netflix signed up for. But it's this convoluted Chinese 3-book series that they adapted. It's amazing. And so I like there's a character in there and they didn't cast you. And I'm pretty angry about it because in my head, like so that's why I'm not a casting director, but in my head, when I read the book, I was like, it's going to be you. Oh, wow. But they didn't take it. And, but it's a great show. And they went with a lot of actors that were from Game of Thrones and then a lot of people that, didn't have careers before. That's good in that regard. But, I look forward to seeing what you create now. Now that we've had this conversation and know that's on your agenda, because I was going to put it on your agenda of like, all right, man, now it's time to start creating shit yourself. Because like,
you know what's crazy? It's been in me for the last year, and the reason why I have not stepped forward is the very thing that I was just giving advice about. I was like, man. I can't, I won't, I can't, no one will. And it wasn't, I'm not lying, it wasn't until 2 weeks ago I was talking to my wife about it. And I said, hon, this thing is burning inside of me now. I just got to go. Who the hell cares about what someone, if I don't even step out there, then it's dead.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You got to, it's 100% guarantee.
It's dead if you don't
let
step
someone
out.
else tell you it sucks.
Let me go as far as I can go.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I got to do this. And now I'm in the process of sitting down with my manager and then a producer as well and fleshing this thing out. Because the thing is I don't know, I have the idea, but I don't know how to. So now I'm bringing people in that have had experience in
That's
that,
right.
And they're helping me.
And they'll make you better.
Yeah, and they'll make me better.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man, for taking the time, and thank you for making me better. And
man,
I really appreciate
honestly, it was great talking to you, man. You freaking inspirational, seriously.
Yeah, we try to be. We try to be.
Oh,
So
really?
thanks a lot.